Da da da. Good morning, lovely people. I am grateful today to be 41. That's right. Today's birthday show, I actually spent some time reflecting, and nearly every birthday, I get a little bit more time reflecting than other birthdays. Typically, in most of my birthdays, I actually spend time debriefing the year and thinking through things and capturing learnings. So this is the first time I've had the show when I've had a birthday, and I want to share my learnings with you, at least a small snippet. Now, we've had some changes in the business, and Mercer and I have been working hard, so we didn't get to escape on my birthday like I normally do, but my wife created a great birthday. So I'm going to share that today. My 6 learnings of the stuff I'm quitting this year that elevate the business, that elevate the coaching clients, that elevate my relationship with friends, and really trying to make the most of what's coming next in the Spark Nation. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover a Renegade's pastor's words. This pastor, what they went through, some of the challenges they had in the early 1900s, and words that I think are immediately relevant to you. We're going to share that today. We're going to share a little bit about, other news and all the crazy stuff going on in the world around us. Where did my other news go? Oh, it's right here. Some space news. Good morning, Dan Sampson. I hope you're doing phenomenal. I hope you are crafting awesome craft work. I cannot wait to see the product of this guy's hands. We're also going to talk about eVTOLs and what that means, and a whole new form of transportation coming direct to you. But more than anything, I'm excited to share with you my birthday learnings. But before we get into any of that, we share a cup of gratitude. So if you're with me, grab a cup of coffee, start sharing in the comments what you're grateful for today. Let me uplift you. Let the audience uplift you. Let's hear what you're grateful for on this lovely, what is it, a Wednesday? What an odd day. But here we are. So I'll tell you what I'm grateful for today. And of course, it's birthday related. How could it not be? And why should it not be? But I will specify this nuance. I'm grateful today for the right people at the right time, hitting you right between the eyes with just the right thing. We had a birthday dinner last night, and we had such a blast. We know the owner of the restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants in our hometown, 1961. And we got to ask him about his dreams and some of his greatest learnings. And on my birthday and on others people's birthday, I just want to make sure that these forever moments, as my mother-in-law calls them, these forever moments, we capture them with meaningfulness, not liquor and booze, but we actually spend time asking the questions that matter. And on my birthday, I like to ask the people around, what have you learned over the last year? How have you grown? We got to ask the owner, Marcos, about this. He has one of the world's best mixologists in this restaurant, Emerson, and we were able to ask Emerson. And then we also got these pumpkin old fashions where he crafted the liquor himself, and they made some pepitas or pumpkin seed brittle themselves. Good things with good people, and it fed my soul. And I would be remiss if, when I say that I'm grateful for the right people at the right time, hitting you right between the eyes with the right words and the right things, I would be remiss if I didn't point out my lovely, lovely wife, who created a perfect birthday that I really needed. It's not the birthday you would have. It's not the birthday she would have, but it was the exact birthday I needed. And in my bone marrow, I have a stronger foundation for the work and the reality we face today because of it. All of your kind words yesterday, we know in Facebook world, we get all the happy birthdays, but the gifts that came in, some of the fans, I love it. Some of our family, I love it. Thank you so much. The kind words, thank you so much. And I love social media for that reason. I know a lot of us are like, oh, I roll. It's birthdays and you're going to get obligatory comments. No. You should take that with grace and joy that we have this tool that people can just check in with you and let you know you're loved. So I'm grateful for my birthday, and I'm grateful that we get to share another orbit around the sun together. Here is to a morning cup of gratitude. What are you grateful for? Put it in the comments. Oh, and I did forget to mention, maybe this will be a transition to other news. For my birthday, I did the Facebook fundraiser, and it took me a second to find the one I liked, and then it just dawned on me. Kiva Foundation We love the Kiva Foundation. They are not a paid sponsor of the show. Me and Marissa, we've worked abroad. We've lived abroad. And some of the most effective ways to give people help getting out of poverty is not giving them handouts. That's a very disempowering modality. It's actually giving them hand-ups. And you don't think about places like Haiti, where we've worked, and places like Africa, when family lineage of colonists actually still own the land. And most of the people on the land are itinerant sharecroppers that often pay to work this land to the owners, or they just neglectfully go on. But if they want to invest in themselves with an ice chest or buy a new goat, and they just want to invest their lives, like cattle is a really good investment for the developing world. But they have no credit. They have no land. We have a credit system. We invented value and reliability called credit out of nothing, and it's not always the best. Monica Young, first off, Monica Young says, carving out time to ride this morning. We know that Monica Young, we follow her on social media, right here. There we go. She's an equestrian, and she loves riding. That's great that you got out this morning to actually ride. But one of the things I'm finally grateful for is that you guys helped us hit a small goal, a notable goal, though, of investing $200 into Kiva, and that money largely does not go to payroll. A lot of other organizations like the Red Cross and all these, they have like 99% of their money goes to payroll and infrastructure. With Kiva, a lot of this money, a higher portion of this money actually goes to the investment it should go to. So thank you so much on my behalf for donating Kiva. So a second thing I'm massively grateful for. Let's get into other news. In other news today, the private spacecraft, the Crew Dragon Resilience spacecraft, docked today for the first long-term mission to the space station. Now, a few things that are amazing. Number one, they have the best arm patch of all time. And I am straight up, can I add this? Can I just post this in here? Oh, I can only do it from my mobile. Let me see if I can add the link. So when you think about being an astronaut, not only would it be Bday to be an astronaut and have an astronaut patch on your coat, but go to the link I just put down in the comments. Go to the link and look on the right-hand side of the page, and they have the wickedest crew patch you've ever seen. I'm like, I just want to go to space so I can earn that freaking patch, man. But some things to note. The Crew Dragon Resilient spacecraft automatically drone parked itself onto the space station. Think about that. Think about the maths and the algorithms. Good morning, Daryl Ash. I hope you're doing amazing with your intermittent fasting. I expect to see those beautiful abs soon. Daryl Ash is a fantastic guy, and he's been hitting that intermittent fasting, and he's been making a massive change in his life. Daryl, thank you for stopping by this morning, brother. So the Crew Dragon Resilience, the reason this is news is not only is it the second manned space flight by a private space agency, but they've brought an additional 4 crew members to the space station for a 6-month mission. This is the first time a private spacecraft, has been on a long-term mission, about 6 months. On top of that, the development of the Space Crew Dragon is complete, and the Starliner spacecraft is coming online. So with these repeat trips of the Crew Dragon, and as the Starliner is coming out, NASA has ended its contract with the Russian Soyuz spacecraft program. And in fact, the Russian Soyuz program has wound down from 4 flights a year to 2 flights a year. This entire business is going to SpaceX. I'm telling you, watch for the IPO of SpaceX, if not Starlink itself. Watch for this IPO. Because as transportation goes, so goes a society. Transportation of knowledge, transportation of bodies, transportation of supplies like groceries. As transportation goes, so goes the species. We are privatizing this successfully right now with an extraordinary success rate. I guarantee you and I will go to space commercially just because, and earn that wicked Crew Dragon patch. Go click the link and check the patch. And Dan Sampson says, it's so good to be back in space. Dan, isn't it? It's like a new horizon for the species to look towards. And if you're watching this show and you don't like space, chances are you're not going to watch this show long. Not because the show is about space, but because this show is about broader horizons. And I love real life wonder to look at. In fact, Dan, you'd find it interesting to note, if you haven't watched the one show we did a few episodes back, where the mythologist Joseph Campbell was asked, what are the modern myths? What are the events happening today that belong in mythology? And in the 60s and 70s and 80s, when this man was teaching mythology to the hippie social revolution that went on, his answer was always man walking on the moon for the first time. It expands our horizon. It puts us into the place of mysterium again. And I am so happy that humans are back in space. In other news, number 2, we talked about transportation just a moment ago. So America's first regional electric aircraft is coming to a town near me. Here we go. Otherwise known as eVTOLs. That's electric, vertical, takeoff, and landing vehicles. A vehicle that goes up, carries people, they go over, and they go down. And Uber is working on, I believe it's called Uber Elevate. Our good friend, Dave Pappas, I would consider Dave Pappas world-class in what he does. He's a designer on the UX of a lot of these ships. What will happen to people when they're on a ship? Will they get airsick? Will they be petrified? How do we deal with the internalities of the cockpit? But before he even has moved stuff off the drafting board, we already have a group by the name of Lilium, a German company, just scored a contract for Lake Nona area. The average home price in Lake Nona is over $600,000. So it's kind of considered a luxury neighborhood in Orlando. And they're building, it's not called an airport. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. It's called a vertiport, V-E-R-T-I, a vertiport, as opposed to an airport. It's being built. And you and I, if we pay a small sum, can ride with 3 other passengers and a pilot for a total of 5 people and fly from Orlando over the crazy bottleneck that is I-4 at Lake Buena Vista, the Disney exits. And we can zoom right over to Tampa in less than 30 minutes for a small fee. They say that, and it'll be a little expensive starting out, which is kind of how Tesla did it. Let me share this link with you. They say by 2035, taking a vertical, an eVTOL, between metropolitan centers and then taking a train or an Uber or a self-driving vehicle will rival driving in average cost per mile, which I read one point was about 48 cents a mile on average. So America's first vertical port. I want to hear from you in the comments. Would you ride that thing, or would you wait till it's proven with a couple hundred rides first? Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Monica just says simply cool, man. I'm with you, Monica. If we could just ride cool vehicles, and if I could get to Cocoa Beach in just a few minutes with my surfboards on top, you know that's happening because you could live anywhere you want. You don't need beachfront property if you could be at the beach in 30 minutes or less. All right, super friends, last piece of other news. Dan Sampson just jumped in. Here we go. And you know we're Dan Sampson. Dan says, nope. Dan says, nope, Camaro SS never gonna rival that. And Dan, it might appall you to realize that I actually cannot stand driving. I can't stand it. My good friend James Joseph, we had dinner last night with his lovely wife, Dory, and a few of our friends. James Joseph loves to drive. He loves getting on the Polk Parkway and just flooring it. I've ridden with him, and to me, it's petrifying. Me and Marissa were driving back from Orlando, and it was petrifying. And I have no interest in cars. I look at them, and I blank. I just don't get it. But from my friendship with him, he has begun to teach me the value of a nice piece of American-made machinery. Vroom, vroom, shake the room. But that's not me, but I appreciate that's you. Dan says, this is so sad. I love to drive. I appreciate it. Now, jumping back real quick, Terry says riding. Now, Terry, I do think this. Terry is a phenomenal financial advisor. And Terry, to prove to you. I've got Terry's book right here. She lent this to me. If you don't know Terry, ask her. If you're young and or just don't know how money works, ask Terry. She just gave me this book. She just jumped on the show and she said writing is where it's at. And you just struck an imagery with me. If we have these other vehicles, all transportation from there forward could be transportation of preference. Dan could drive his Camaro SS. Monica or Terry could just ride to work. We would actually choose these things. Monica says, great book. Monica, I'm glad to know that you've read it, How Money Works. And for those who don't know, we've really got to simplify how money works. And they've really got a friendly, approachable way to understand kind of how money works for the uninitiated. So anyways, I love the dialogue on transportation. I, of course, want to just live here with my community, but surf in Cocoa Beach, and prices are going up there too quickly. So I'll take an eVTOL. And Dan, you could floor it in your Camaro SS and meet me there just about 30 or 40 minutes after I get there. And then Terry and Monica could gallop, and maybe by that afternoon, they could join us in Cocoa Beach for a nice beach day. That's it for other news. Well, except, of course, the show will likely be moving here. So feel free to make sure you like and follow us over here, because that's where we'll be doing our contest. But I'd love to share with you now my 6 birthday lessons on the things I'm absolutely freaking quitting in 2021. Stick around. Let's do this. Here we go. Before we get into this, I want to read a level set. You guys know I love reading. I read about 4 books in my rotation every morning. And I wanted to read this because in my quiet time, this struck me. And I think more people need to be encouraged, uplifted about where prosperity and success actually come from. This was written in, oh my gosh, the early 1900s. This one specific, well, not so early. This one actually came out originally in 61. This was actually one of Norman Vincent Peale's later books. Norman Vincent Peale wrote Power of Positive Thinking. He was a minister. And if you actually read his history, he was a writer with his book, The Power of Positive Thinking. And I'm a big student. My opus, my life's work is chaining together who learned from who, and basically what I call the guru family tree. And in my research, I came across the history of Norman Vincent Peale, and it struck me as very interesting that his affinity for what was known as the New Thought movement, the precursor to what we know as positive personal development, some of which has extraordinary teachings, other lineages of the New Thought movement got really flaky and weird, but some of it is very powerful. It gave us awesome people like Bob Proctor, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins. These were the kind of the outflow, and if you trace them back, they came out of the early 1900s New Thought movement. Also, that came out of that, just fun fact, is Church of Christian Science, not to be confused with Scientology. Church of Christian Science wrote a book. Ernest Holmes wrote a book, Science of the Mind. Powerful book, powerful book. But Norman Vincent Peale was still maintained his Christian roots, and a lot of the ministers at the time were leaving the church, leaving the pulpit, and just focusing on positive thinking and the prosperity gospel and a lot of that, which kind of gets deviated very quickly. Norman Vincent Peale kept his pulpit, but his church tried to oust him several times. This guy was a renegade because he wanted to bring this message to the church. A lot of the ministers felt relieved when they heard about personal development or positive thinking and left the congregation. But Norman Vincent Peale really loved his congregation and really loved the gospel and just believed that people did not understand the gospel. And so he kept in the church in spite of the upper echelon of his church, the congregation, the ministers, the pastorate, and then the actual his credentialing organization. They were all asking him to leave, and he rebelled and said, "No, I'm keeping my church open." And so he continued to write and tried to fuse his gospel with the New Thought movement. And I came across this from the section. Titled, and this one is called The Toughminded Optimist. And you guys know I be loving me an optimist, right? I love optimism, and it's so important. But he says this, and I want to really capture this. Do your honest best. Think right. And the divine will, for a fact, provide. However, he will provide through you. Good morning, Ryan. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the like, my man. Now hear this. You can't miss this. The divine will provide, but he will provide through you. Too often in success teachings or positive personal development, we just think if we can just imagine it right, money bags will fall. Someone will walk up to us and hand us a check. We need that type of belief when we're young, but as we mature, we realize, man, all answers to prayer come through people. And the first people they come through is ourselves. So do your honest best. Think right, and the divine will, for a fact, provide, but he will provide through you. And he finishes with this: prosperity is not usually in the form of money, but in the other blessings of the divine. Now, why did this stick out to me? This stuck out to me because every year that goes by, my birthday gets better and better. And I get more and more in touch with my emotionalism. And I often ask myself, why is that? Why is going to dinner with a handful of friends moving me so much? Because I believe more and more the blessings of the divine are generally people, the right people in our lives. And I think it's very important that you hear that if you can be optimistic that yes, all the blessings of the world is coming to you. It's coming to you because it's coming through you. And how that's manifesting in the world is often the right people. If you're here watching this show, I think for this moment, we are right for each other. And we need to mature in our ability to add and remove people, add and remove things that get out of the way to emphasize strong, healthy relationships. And we need to be mature enough to shake hands when we realize, hey, I think we're misaligned. Let's not vilify anyone. Let's high five and send each other passionately on our way to co-elevate the species. I wanted to share that this morning as the context for my heart being full today, because we had such a good time. And yeah, man, we still got bumps in the business to navigate, don't you? I sure do. Yeah, we sure have bumps. We got things we got to navigate. We got hiring to do. We got to put new butts in seats. We got to onboard people. And me and Marissa thought we were further along than that. But guess what? That's good education. But from this place of abundance that I am really thriving on today, I want to share with you, without further ado, the 6 lessons that I am codifying for myself for this year. Here we go. Number 1, I am quitting an unhealthy lifestyle. You see, for me, that relates to consistency in my workouts and eliminating stress eating. So I'm going to quit an unhealthy lifestyle. Whether it's Daryl Ash inspired me to get back on my intermittent fasting, which works so well, or whether it's me finding my level best way to keep my head solid despite the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, or whether it's me just being diligent to get to the gym in the morning and doing a run at night, I need to also eliminate my stress eating. We're typically very good with this, but when I do stress eating, I don't stand in the gym and eat. I just make poor decisions when I do eat. And when you do intermittent fasting, you got to do better than that. But me and Marissa usually have been doing fasting. We need to augment that. So you're going to see from me a very earthy thing. This one is not esoteric. Number 1 is not esoteric. It's like rooted in reality. I just got to quit any small vestiges of an unhealthy lifestyle. That's number 1. Number 2, here we start getting a little headier. Number 2, I'm going to quit needing control. You see, expanding your business requires trust. I see Monica here. She's part of a phenomenal team at the mortgage firm, and they're so inspiring. Go follow Monica on TikTok. She murders it. She and her team, their entire team, do so good on TikTok. It's such a joy to watch. This team was seeded by primarily Robbie Sampson. And Robbie Sampson, I have a huge respect for him. We just saw that they had their annual retreat of 75 team members, their spouses and families at Captiva Island, celebrating with one another. To expand like that, you have to trust one another. So to trust one another, you have to first and foremost release control. I've got to be more and more comfortable to release control. We need to guide things, but we don't need to control everything. We need to coach our people, but we don't need to control everything. People who are following, you need to be coached. That's not a form of control. You need to have a guide. That's not a form of control. That needs to be a co-elevating relationship where guidance is not control. Teaching and coaching is not control. And then we need to step out of the way and let it go. But we also don't need to learn the wrong lessons. A lot of us have control issues because we've tried to give up control and got burnt. Monica says, this is so tough. Terry says, that's a tough one for control freaks like myself. Terry, Monica, and I guarantee Dan. I know Dan was the CEO of a family business. And I know about the control issues. We've all given moments of control up, and then we've gotten burned in some way, shape, or form. But Marissa hates it when I use this phrase on her, but she knows it's true. All my coaching clients hate it when I use this phrase on them. Don't learn the wrong lessons, my friend. Don't learn the wrong lessons, my friend. Learn the right lesson. So if we went out to go lift weights and I put too much weight on the bar and I tried to lift and I pulled my back, I'm not going to learn the lessons that all weights are bad. The right lesson is I need better form. Dan, if Dan's carving some wood and he shaves too much off of a certain angle, he doesn't need to throw that shaver out. Forgive me, I don't know the term, Dan. He doesn't need to throw that shaver out and say, I'm never shaving again. What he needs to do is learn the skill of doing it right and taking off a little bit at a time. If you're in a business and you are giving up control and you got burned, an employee left you, an employee stole money, an employee just let you down, whatever it is, and you had to part ways, the lesson is not to not give up control. The lesson is to be better. Ooh, that's convicting. Listen, I'm challenging you, lovely, beautiful people. You and I and my lovely bride, Marissa, and my partners with Spark Bookkeeping, and James and Jory Joseph, my partners with Spark Training, we need to get better at managing and delegating. It's just no questions. We have to develop the skill. That's the next skill we need. Okay? But hear this. Number 2 is quit needing control. This is the foundation for number 3. Number 3 is quit chasing overnight success. Oh, and I'm preaching to myself here. So talking about the new thought movement, talking about personal development, talking about seeing it and believing it, talking about manifestation ideologies like Think and Grow Rich or The Secret. You know, when you're young, you need to believe in magic. If you have young people, do not dispel their belief in magic. Ooh, they need to believe in magic. We need magic again. We need the mysterium. But when I was young, I mixed the ideologies of personal development and visualization with instant overnight success. And that causes dissonance and stress and disappointment. I don't believe in overnight success for 2 reasons, and it's not what you think. Reason 1, the success that matters, I already have. Oh, maturity is seeing it. I'm getting teary-eyed because the success that matters that I already have is to be liked and valued by smart, intelligent, caring people who add value to your life and you add value to theirs. And I already have that. If you don't have that, I pray that for you. I have that. The success that matters, I already have, so I don't need to believe in overnight success. I need to believe in yesteryear success because I've had it for a long time, and maturity and growing up is learning how to reciprocate and enjoy that and not feel weird about it. That's success principle number 1. That's reason number 1 why I don't believe in overnight success. Reason number 2, the success that I would like on top of that comes with time. I want to be extraordinary. I want to be really good at what I do. And whether that's websites, I honestly don't care. Whether that's writing books, which I would really like to continue to write my books, and craft pieces that people just love to get when it arrives in the mail. I'm telling you, I want to create books so good that you refuse to buy it on Kindle. I can put words on paper. We can do this. I want to return to crafting good books that you just want to have on your shelf. I want to do that again. I want to put on live events that you crave to come to because you know that you'll hug a neck of someone who matters to you. Those things come with time. And I hope you're with me for that journey. I hope we can do that together, but those things certainly come with time. So those are the 2 reasons I don't believe in overnight success. So this year, I'm going to absolutely eradicate it. I'm not going to spend any time. Lisa Welsh says, you can write amazing books. Lisa, that is so important to hear you say. I'm telling you guys, let me just pause here. All of you on this show that have commented today that are regulars, I know you regulars. Monica, you're regular. Terry, you're a regular. Brock, you're a regular. Dan, you're a regular. Lisa, you're regular. I know you guys. I know you're around. Most all of you have a coach inside of you, and there's a coach inside of me. And hear me on this. You don't have to be an extrovert like me to be a coach. You need words of affirmation. Each and every one of you need words of affirmation. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing that you can write books. I sincerely, that means a lot to me. But here's the deal. Number 3 is quit chasing overnight success. And in order to quit chasing overnight success, what that does is becomes the foundation of number 4. I'm going to quit needing to be liked this year. There's a great quote I love, and that quote goes this: once you finally have haters, you know that your message is finally clear, because your lovers, the ones who love your message, are finally understanding what you're about. You need to push your message until you have haters. And the foundation to do that is to truly, deeply, viscerally quit needing to be liked. You know, I have historically truly needed people to like me. Specifically, I've needed my employees to like me. I have this thought that we're a personal development brand. I live on the values of educating. It's on the wall. Educating, encouraging, and empowering. I ignite lives of explosive significance. So shouldn't my employees, shouldn't my vendors all be living abundant lives of explosive significance? Well, yes, philosophically, but those are the people I'm trying to reach. I shouldn't necessarily put those people at the helm of my most precious thing in my opus and my most invaluable asset, my business. I need to make sure I'm hiring up. I don't need to be liked by those people. And by my audience, I don't need even 1% of the world's population. I need you guys who are watching right now and your friends and those like you, because eagles fly with eagles. Am I not right? Eagles fly with eagles. And I'm telling you, that doesn't make up 1/10 of 1% of the world's population. I don't need everyone to like me. I need the right people to like me. So when I say I need to quit needing to be liked, I need to be me, and you and I will magnetize to one another. That's number 4. I'm going to quit needing to be liked in 2021 at the age of 41. And that is the foundation. You need all of that for this next one, because this next one's tough. But you need to take this step. And you're going to feel so relieved once you do. You might have more responsibilities. You might have work when you do number 5. You ready? Quit misaligned people. Quit them this year. I am. This year, I am quitting those who are misaligned. Now, hear me on this. You don't need to vilify someone to quit them. You don't need to vilify someone or demean them to walk away, or to just subtly quit scheduling lunch with them. Or if you need to have a breakup, have a breakup. But just fill your life so full of people that value you, that when the people that don't value you say, hey, do you have time for lunch? In parentheses, so I can berate you, be jealous of you, a little hold you back like a crab trying to pull you back into the boiling pot, you know, and your honest response needs to be, and it needs to be honest. I am so sorry. I've already got a few appointments. What does your next 3 weeks, your next 4 weeks, what does next year look like? And no harm, no foul. I'm getting really serious about some things, and I got to take it to the next level. So could we schedule out? You don't need to cut these people off entirely, but you need to prioritize. So how do you quit misaligned people? You need the other things. I need the other things I'm quitting in order to get to the point that I can quit misaligned people. Now, here's the thing. I want to paint this picture. These people are not less than you. Do not hear the wrong lesson here. These people are not less than you. Chances are you're also misaligned for them. Chances are you're a Phillips head and they need a flat head. Do you hear me on this? You need to do them the favor. You're just the lucky one. You're just the lucky one to have the awareness at the first. You need to quit misaligned people. And I do. And I'm not talking about going through my Rolodex and dramatically going, oh, I'm going to Parlor and leaving Facebook. I don't need a dramatic exit, man. I don't need to go, oh, you've been so toxic for me and I'm leaving. No, because if you were honest, you'd probably say, oh, I'm so sorry. I've probably been toxic for you too. It's not about that. This is a huge freaking species. And the people who are not right for you are amazingly right for someone else. And why are you holding them back? And why are you letting them hold back you? You need to early, before it putrefies, before the relationship deteriorates in the midst of each other, you need to walk up to one another and high five and say, listen, hey, I got some things to do. Could we part ways for a little while? Or could we just check in the next 3 months? If it's a coworker or a partner, you need to sit down and say, listen, I love you, but I definitely think we're going other directions. I don't care if this means you have to change the name of your company. I don't care what you need to do. This is that important. I know Robbie Sampson of the mortgage firm is hard to get a hold of. I know he likes me and I like him. But when I reach out and text him and say, hey, let's get together for lunch, and I don't hear him for 4 weeks, I don't take that personally. I know he's got 75 lovely relationships on this planet to focus on. And he knows I've got my relationships to focus on. And dear God, we just have to prioritize and we have limited time. I'm not even trying to push this guys away and he's not trying to push me away. We're literally just going, hey, listen, like it's not even that you're less like I heard this quote once. We've got to let go of the good in order to make room for the absolute best. And we have to respect each other when that happens. Can you look right now, and you don't even have to share who or throw this dirty laundry out there at all. Can you put in the comments, I know a few people I could probably part ways with and free up their gifts to the world? Comment on that and let me know if that's you too, because I know that's me. And it's not many people. It's just a few. I heard it said recently in a Harvard study, is it more important to invest in your people so that they're extraordinary? Or is it more important to eliminate one toxic person in the workplace? And to a person, the research showed that you do not have to spend tens of thousands of dollars in team training and corporate training. You really just need to let go of that one person. And the entire floor showed a productivity bump by 11%. Monica, of course you can. Monica says, I can't seriously think of any. And that's probably why Monica, LOL, it has a fulfilled life. I know Monica to be a joyful person. I know her. She has her ups and downs, I'm sure. But I know she absolutely has a lot of good relationships. And mind you, she's also part of this culture that she and Robbie and the Mortgage Fiend team have put together. Dan says, yes, I know some people. Bro, yes, I know some people. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. We just need to low-key fill our schedule with work that counts. And I know Dan is largely building his own business right now alone. Dan, let me just give you a micro thought to think about, micro coaching. You're allowed to put on your calendar, meet with the carpentry team for the carpentry project, and that can just be you. And that's the most important work. And then when a toxic person says, hey, can we go grab lunch? Hey, listen, I got an appointment with the team. I literally cannot make it. That is honest and safe. I think you could walk with that. Lisa Welsh says, there are some people I should free up for the world. Preach, Lisa Welsh. And Lisa, I look forward to our coaching session this afternoon. So let me know if you want to meet in person or virtually. It's up to you. If we're both busy, that's fine. We can meet by Zoom or whatever. But Lisa's an awesome coaching client. I look forward to hanging with her. So yes, we need to be setting people go. And that is the foundation of my sixth point. Here's my sixth and final commitment to myself of what I'm quitting in 2021 once and for all. And it's this. I'm going to quit playing small. I'm going to quit playing small. How often have we shrunk ourselves for the people who we were trying to get to like us? And I'm not talking about the blessings of this world people. I'm talking about the other people that we should have not sought to get to like us. Oh, Dan, I'm sorry. Dan corrects himself. I apologize. Let me correct this. Dan says, sorry, I meant yes, to get rid of the one toxic employee is a better move. I apologize, Dan. I was seeing your thing delayed. So Dan has been a CEO of a great company, And he posts here, sorry, I meant yes, get rid of the toxic person before you start investing in the crew. Once you get rid of the toxic person, then invest in corporate training. And that starts to take, and everyone starts to really appreciate that. Dan, thank you for clarifying, my man. So my final lesson, number six, I need all of these steps, and I sequence them this way because it's the strength I need to quit playing small. And it's no one's fault but my own. How often have we shrunk for we say this phrase, the lowest common denominator. Well, in business, that should just be how you build your jobs. Build the job for the lowest common denominator, but raise the bar for excellence. And I am preaching to myself. Grant, raise the bar for excellence. Minimize these jobs and make them simple enough and pay them appropriately and train them appropriately for the lowest common denominator. But don't treat that person like they're the lowest common denominator. Instead, hold the bar high. We can hold these paradoxes. This idea of the lowest common denominator does not mean make yourself as small as the lowest common denominator. And I cannot tell you how often I have made myself hold back, pull back, because they were saying, I can't handle it when you talk about X. Hey, pony up, man. I get it. And maybe we need to part ways as friends, but like, this organization goes big. And for years, not just the latest years, but in many chunks of time in my life, I have awakened from a stupor to realize I have played much smaller than is in my chest. I have the reason I love the Leonid meteor showers, I have a phrase I use, and that is I feel a lion in my chest clawing at the inside of my rib cage to come out with the impact I want to make in the world. I feel that. How often do we cage ourselves and make ourselves small? I need the sequence above in order to get to the place where this year I'm going to quit playing small. I'm going to make the tough decisions to focus on a niche. Watch for that coming with Spark Sites and Spark Training. I need to just make the call. I've been afraid to pick a niche because I've been afraid to say no to people. I'm going to pick our niche this year. You're going to see it come out, and it's going to be for, we're going to commit to it, and we're going to grow, and we're going to make our deepest impact on the planet. We're kind of bound to logically. Let me give these to you real quick, and I'll send you on your day. Number one, quit an unhealthy lifestyle. It's just foundational. If I'm going to stick around and make my impact, I've got to quit an unhealthy lifestyle, which is the foundation for two. Number two, I need to quit needing control. I need to not learn the wrong lessons when I've gotten burned. I need to learn the right lessons, and that I just have to be better at being a manager and a delegator, which is the foundation for. I need to quit chasing overnight success, because raising up people to build that success is not a shortcut. It just relieves you of the minutia so you can focus on helping more and more people. And quitting chasing overnight success, I don't believe it for two reasons, because the success that matters you probably already have, and the success you want just comes with time. That's the foundation of number four. Quit needing to be liked. Quit needing to be liked. The right people like you. The people that don't like you, you don't need, because this world is a big place and you got a big impact to make. And that is the foundation for number five. Quit the misaligned people in your life. Be kind. Don't hate them. Co-elevate. Set them free to the world, but quit them. Start really investing. Anytime. And how do you do this? You probably have a few rock stars, a few eagles in your life, a few spark citizens you love. Quit. How do you quit someone? Take that time slot and book it for coffee with those sparked people in your life. Book it now. That's how you start investing and getting more out of better people, so that you're booked when misaligned people reach out. And that leads to number six. Please quit playing small. Now, I'm being honest. I'm preaching to myself, but I do want to hear from you. It fills my soul to hear from you if you are acting. These are just words if you don't take action. So today, please get out there, make some of these adjustments. Let's keep talking about it. If you need support, you know where to find us. The Facebook Goals and Gratitude group, stateofthespark.com, which is always evolving. Just reach out, Facebook messages, whatever you need to be great. But minimum, remember your calling and mission today. Igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. Thank you for being with me on my birthday. Have a killer day.